Overtaking steps. The driver must overtake with his vehicle from the left side of the vehicle preceding his vehicle, and he has to commit with the following. Follow traffic signs, marks placed or engraved on the road. Make sure that the road is clear in front of him for a sufficient distance to complete overtaking process. Look at the inside mirror and then at the side one, and take a look over the shoulder to make sure that the situation is safe and there are no vehicles in the blind spots, and the overtaking is allowed. Alert your users that you want to overtake by a lighter sound signal. While overtaking, keep away from the overtaking obstacles by sufficient safe side distance. Look at the mirror to make sure of the completion of overtaking process, and give the necessary right signal to inform other road users of the completion of overtaking. When overtaking a big vehicle, you have to take a look on the two sides of this vehicle before starting overtaking, taking into consideration not to return to the lane of the big vehicle except after seeing it in the mirror. Determine the speed and do the following procedures. Determine the suitable shift position and the speed to be able to complete overtaking process in the shortest possible time. Reduce the speed when overtaking buses and stop passenger cars to drop passengers. See, overtaking is always done from the left of the other vehicles or obstacles, unless the driver of the vehicle requires to be overtaken, gives the turn signal to the left. Sixth section, no overtaking places. Invisible heights and accurate curves. Slippery roads, circular squares near pedestrians' crossings. Schools, hospitals, gardens, and emergency vehicle lanes. Road turns, bridges, and tunnels. All places in which overtaking is prohibited by using traffic signs or marks. Seventh section, no overtaking cases. No overtaking of passenger buses are located for transport of students when stopped in residential areas. When vision is hard on the road because of natural or emergency circumstances, bog or dust. Police cars, internal security forces, ambulance, civil defense and rescue in emergency cases, and when using alert and learning devices. Group of stopped cars because of disruption of traffic motion or stop of vehicles or traffic motion that does not allow the completion of overtaking process safely. If the bronze vehicle required to be overtaken is moving with a speed that makes the completion of overtaking hard. If the front vehicle is overtaking another vehicle. If there is another vehicle that moves at the rear and started to overtake. When the driver of the preceding vehicle gives a signal of no overtaking. Eighth section, when overtaking, the following must be taken into consideration. It is prohibited to increase the speed of the vehicle when another vehicle is overtaking it, and the driver has to enable others to achieve this overtaking. Follow guidelines indicated on any mark placed or engraved on the road surface by the licensing authority. Give way to emergency vehicles, police, internal security forces, civil defense, and ambulance while performing emergency service, with a reduction of speed or stop moving if necessary. Clear the road immediately if there are emergency motor vehicles, police internal security forces, severe defense and ambulance at intersections, junctions or crossroads, to give way to these vehicles without any obstacle. Ninth section, Rules and Ethics of Overtaking. It is prohibited to increase the speed of the vehicle when another vehicle is overtaking it, and the driver has to enable others to make this overtaking safely. When meeting another vehicle, the driver required to be overtaken has to facilitate the overtaking process, including to take extreme right of carriageway. Introduce the speed of the vehicle if the situation requires. The driver of a vehicle that transport a load and cannot be overtaken because of road situations and traffic motion has to reduce the speed of his vehicle and exit as necessary as possible to road shoulder, to give way to vehicles behind to overtake it safely. Death section side winds and their effect on overtaking. Side winds are divided into two types. 1. Vacuum winds resulting from speed of vehicles. The effect of these two types of winds seen obvious, and even more during overtaking of large vehicles. In such circumstances, the small vehicles are subjected to pull-off where the large vehicles with the small vehicles perform overtaking process. To overcome this problem, hold the steering wheel firmly with both hands with appropriate guidance of steering wheel. To natural wind. It is formed during changes in different weather conditions. Its effect differs on vehicles according to their speed. And when approaching a barrier or vehicle, it approaches from this barrier because of the southern reduction of the wind speed.